And you shall feel the pythons, brother.
No stairway. Denied.
You shall feel the wrath of Hulkamania.
Cross the T's and dot the lowercase
Not just they can do that on our airwaves, but that they can do that as one of us, as badge-carrying employees, as paid contributors to our sacred airwaves.
Welcome to the BJ Show. Let's rock and roll. Rock and roll. Come on, everybody. Let's lose control. Brand John never wants to follow. Yeah, ready for the ride. It's the BJ Show. BJ Show.
John Combest, are you ready?
I'm ready for you, Brad. Boy, that was a questionable sentence. Let me try that again. I'm ready, Brad.
Today is July 29th. This is the A block. The reason I mention that is because of the fact that a lot of people listen to this show in the future. You can check it out on acoustictorture.com, or you can check it out on bjshow.com or bjshow.us. All those various things are bradstop3.com, not johnstop3.com, because he would shudder if he had johnstop3.com, because he knows that bradstop3.com would be 10 times better than any johnstop3.com. Right, John?
Absolutely. You nailed that one, Brad. I love the fact that you purchased on the air yesterday, for folks who missed C Block on July 28th. Brad, you purchased acoustictorture.com. Yes. An homage to Seattle climate activists who were mad about the Blue Angels, right?
No, well, that's one of them. And the lady claimed that that her cat died last year when they do this, some kind of Seattle seafair. It's sort of like I believe the example would be like sort of like the VP Fair here in St. Louis. They have the same kind of thing in Seattle, and there's the climate activists complaining that it's dumping carbon into the atmosphere and it's causing pollution, and the one lady claims her cat died because of the acoustic torture from the Blue Angels. And remember, we have to support the Blue Angels, even though they're in my oldest son's hometown of Pensacola. They are made right up in North County, even though, what's her name again? Cori Bush wanted to shut it down and get all those people out of a job up there in North County making the F-18s and the F-15s and all the other stuff they make in North County. But yes, acoustic torture. And I did that live on the air. I bought acoustic torture. And have you checked it out, John? You know where it goes?
Of course not. No, does it just redirect to our show?
Yeah, it goes to BJShow.
Nice. Very good, Brad. That's a good, it had been, so this year, let's just be clear, you purchased according to AI.com.
Yeah.
Well, which other domains have you purchased this year?
I just bought one yesterday. Matter of fact, I bought 3 yesterday.
Wow, okay.
John, if I told you what I'm working on, you would I would have to have I would have to dial 9-1, and then when I told you, I'd have to hit the 1, and I go, John Combest house, he just had a heart attack, please put the paddles on him right away. If I told you what I was working on, you wouldn't believe me. You wouldn't believe me.
I would rather just be surprised, Brad. If you generally don't share anything you're doing about radio or anything with me or with people close to you, so I wouldn't be surprised if you come to us with a big announcement one day.
Well, I mean, me and Randy Raley, we talk daily. We're working on this.
You do. You talk to him on Facebook, and he rightfully ignores you.
Yes. See, once again, my example is somebody yesterday, I got a text yesterday. I give my phone number on the air, 314-280-8880. That is, John, is that my phone number?
It's absolutely your phone number.
Yeah, and people go, he gives his phone number on the air? You can text me, and people text me during the show. And John gets aggravated because I don't turn off my notifications. Now, you know what?
You don't need the audio notifications, Brad. You can have it light up all day long.
No.
Why should people listen to a radio show and have some old codger have his phone go off in the middle of the show?
John, here's the problem. I'll tell you that right up front. The problem is I forget to turn it back on, and I don't.
Well, just be better. Execute, Brad. That seems to be a lot of your issues, right? Just execute. Instead of excuses, just execute. Just set it up so that it vibrates. You could keep it in your pocket, and you could feel it vibrate. You could put it on the table, and you could watch it light up. You don't need it interrupted. You won't change, Brad. Like, if there's one thing I've learned in doing the show with you, you'll never change. There's no process improvements for you. But I'm just saying, for folks who are listening to this, if you're working with a geriatric, there might be an opportunity to teach them, hey, your phone has a tiny little dial that you can turn the sound on and off.
My phone just went off. Did you hear that, John? Somebody's texting me.
Yeah, it's probably Mark McCloskey. He just got out of the shower, and he wonders why you haven't called him in 4 weeks.
Okay, John. That's John Combest, C-O-M-B-E-S-T. Put a John in front of the .com on the back end, and you get johncombest.com. The amazing website's been going for over 23 years. Every single day he puts dozens of things up, things you should know about. And nothing fancy because John does the web in version. What your version again is that, John? What web version?
0.0.
It looks like a website from the 90s. Would that be an insulting thing for you?
That's quite a compliment. It's very GeoCities, Brad.
Right. It looks like a website from the 90s. The reason being is the truth, the importance is in the content, not in the form. Okay, so John puts this up, and he puts dozens of stories up there, and we start off every morning with this guy.
I'm Casey Kasem.
And what do you do, sir?
We're on our way to the number one.
And we start off with?
In third place.
Over at 97.1 FM, the Annie Fry Show, special guest yesterday, Congressman Eric Burlison. Congressman Burlison does a good job of getting around the state to different outlets, talking about what's going on in D.C., and his role is pretty important, Brad, because he's on the House Oversight Committee. Among other committees that Congressman Burlison is on, he's on the House Oversight Committee, which is taking a close look at Joe Biden and the auto pen situation. You and I have talked about it extensively on the show, Brad. I include it as the number 3 story today, though, because there's a brand new nugget here that I hadn't heard of. Maybe you've heard of it, but I don't pay as much attention to national politics as you do. Congressman Burlison talks about the people that they're subpoenaing, and he goes through a list of folks, and he says that the chairman has even suggested he's going to bring in Joe Biden and possibly even Kamala Harris. Brad, could you imagine the zoo, the spectacle, if you brought in Biden and or Kamala Harris?
It's never going to happen, John. You know that. It's never going to happen. I mean, the crazy thing about this is you and I, was it last week we talked about this or the week before, when Biden's own words admitted on the pardons that he just gave them categories and his staff picked out who they're going to pardon. Remember that?
Yeah, let them sort out the details, Brad. Right. What's wrong with that? Yes. Like, just say, hey, pardon some people that are murderers, and let your team figure out who the right murderer is.
Unbelievable, John.
And I also bring this up, Brad, too, because Congressman Burlison echoes something that you and others have said for a long time. He talks about the administration and how they're to blame and folks, near the president. We've probably beaten that to death. But also Burlison says, quote, the other entity that's responsible for this is the media. The media did not cover this. They mocked people. And then Burlison tells a story about how he was on Maria Bartiromo and she asked about, maybe people are speculating before that disastrous debate with Trump. People were speculating that maybe they'd give him some kind of a drug cocktail. And Burlison was like, they might need to hop him up on Mountain Dew. And he also mentions later in the interview, Brad, your pal Jake Tapper, and brings up your point, which is, it's funny that Jake Tapper now talks about how obvious the decline was, but for 4 years he had nothing to say about it.
Well, you and I have beaten that one to death. It's the most amazing thing. It's almost to the point. And by the way, we haven't talked about. Do you ever watch South Park?
No.
Okay, we need to talk about that.
I hear that. They've criticized. I saw a headline that South Park criticizes him lately, and then I saw a dueling headline where it says it's too late for them to criticize. They helped put him in the White House.
Well, I think if I'm not a big South Park fan, I've watched some of the stuff and I watched some of it on YouTube. I think to a certain extent, the South Park guys are equal to opportunity offenders. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah, I get that from them. Like, if you've seen the Team America movie, I thought that was quite patriotic.
Right, and I've never seen that movie before, but it's interesting. Jay Leno's been in the news recently because of all the stuff. And did you hear this story where someone went back and analyzed all his shows? And he talked about the Republicans and he talked about the Democrats, and guess what the ratio was?
Oh, 3-1.
No, 50-50.
Wow, really?
Yes.
That's surprising.
Yeah, and he said that. He says, why would you alienate half your audience? Which is I've said all along. That's like
yeah, it's the Michael Jordan line. Republicans buy sneakers too.
That's like I've said many times in this show before. We welcome rhinos, kinos, Democrats, liberals, conservatives, anybody, any stripes. We don't care.
What about gynos, Brad?
Gynos all over there. John, are we ready for number 2?
Yeah, hey, I don't want to put you in a box. Go ahead, Brad.
Up a notch to number 2.
Down Springfield way yesterday, Governor Mike Kehoe had an address to the Springfield Chamber of Commerce. It was kind of like an updated State of the State address, because this time Governor Kehoe gets to talk about the bills he actually signed, progress that he made on legislation. He gives a chance to give a little shine to local members of the State House delegation. And one of the visuals brought to us by KY3, we saw State Senator Curtis Trent right next to the governor at the table. We saw what's widely presumed to be next Speaker of the House, a guy named Alex Riley from Springfield, just hobnobbing there with the governor. But all was not quiet on the Springfield front yesterday. Outside, cameras captured, by my count, Brad, nearly 15 to 20 protesters. If we want to be generous, if we want to be generous, we could call it almost 24 protesters. And they had some Jobs with Justice signs, and they were quite upset about the governor. They were quite upset about the governor and sick leave legislation, the repeal of the sick leave legislation that voters passed in November, Proposition A in 2024. So there were some inspiring images. As you know, Brad, a lot of times I like to take a look at the protest video and try to see what the folks are actually saying. There was a nice old lady that, I'm guessing she was nice, that's probably presumptuous. There was an old lady that held a sign that supported healthy workers. That's HEALTY. So I think she meant healthy workers. She was cheering how healthy workers drive the economy. There was an old man, to avoid the problem of misspelled words, there was an old man with a Jobs with Justice, one of the prefab signs, and the camera caught him at an opportune moment checking his watch. I guess he probably had to get home to watch Judge Judy or something like that. And then there was a really angry woman with a lot of tattoos who told the camera guy or gal, I want Governor Kehoe to look me in the face. I want him to look at me. You ever notice, Brad, how sometimes a lot of angry women just yearn for confrontation with powerful men?
I have that trouble all the time. Matter of fact, I walk out of my studio and there's an angry woman there trying to punch me.
Yeah, well, she also gives you a summons and says you owe her money. And then she also tells you that you're playing your music too loud, Brad. I've heard that story.
Yes.
But I think I bring this up today, Brad. It's in Springfield, so you would think, well, who cares? I think pretty much everywhere Kehoe goes, where there's going to be a major crowd, you're going to have the union folks and the Jobs with Justice folks out there with signs talking about sick leave. Remember, the unions are going to put this on the ballot in 2026 as a constitutional amendment so that legislators can't tinker with it or dilute it any further. So I think everywhere Kehoe goes, he's going to face these folks, Brad.
John, I don't know what you're talking about. The Freedom Caucus took care of that IP reform thing. It's done, man. They're not going to get anything on the ballot anymore.
I really hope, Brad, that in Brad's top 3, I don't mean to undermine it if you don't have this in there, but a great story from the Post-Dispatch about where county executive candidates got their money in the county executive race.
You talking about St. Charles County?
Yeah, St. Charles County. Did you happen to see that piece?
I did not. Can you send it to me?
Oh, yeah. It undermines your narrative of how Jason Law is just going out and getting all of his money out of the county. I wonder where the different candidates got their money from, Brad.
Well, it wasn't me. I guarantee you that.
It was not you. Hey, I have a way for you to save money, and it's in story number 1.
The number 1.
Brad is a generally frugal guy. Do you ever find yourself driving to arguably sketchy locations just to get a good deal on a meal?
John, I live in a sketchy location. What are you talking about? I don't have to drive
Going
anywhere.
to a sketchy location for you might mean walking to your kitchen.
John,
or in your case, Brad, a soup kitchen. Go ahead.
I don't know if I told you this or not, but people don't believe me, and every time somebody comes by, I show them. I have a bullet hole in one of my front windows.
Do you really? Did you get really mad at yourself one day?
No.
Well, I shouldn't say that.
I got a bullet hole in my front window. I mean, I'm not kidding. And I've said that. And I had someone that I know heard the show one day, and they go, okay. And they came by and they go, there it is. They go, I'll be damned, it is a bullet hole.
Were you ever able to figure out how that happened, or do you think it was Rick and Tracy, or who do you think did it, Brett?
I think
like, have you named them publicly as the possible assailant?
I'm not going to say.
And we're joking here for the FCC. We're just joking here.
I'm not going to say it was Bill Eigel, but I think it might have been Bill Eigel. You never know.
Well, let's get to the frugality of the matter, Brad.
Okay.
According to a story in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and I found this by the great Chris Ferguson, a.k.a. Fergie Ferg, on X, sinkholes swallowing St. Louis Lake trigger emergency fishing order. Now, usually the Missouri Department of Conservation tells you there's certain things you can't do to get fish, Brad. You usually can't go out there and you can't, gig them. You can't just jab them with a sharp stick. You can't just snag them or trap them. But because this sinkhole is enveloping the lake in Benton Park, which apparently is somewhere in St. Louis City, the Department of Conservation says that anybody can go down there now. And the Department of Conservation has lifted the limits, Brad. You can have as many sunfish as you want. You can capture as many bluegill, maybe some crappie, maybe some largemouth bass. No limits. Get the fish out of there. Harvest the fish because the sinkhole is swallowing the lake.
So they're trying to not have the fish die a slow death of being undrowned. Instead, they're going to be caught with a hook. So in other words, no matter what, they're going to kill the fish is what this coming down to.
Yeah, absolutely right. So the Department of Conservation says that they're investigating the sinkholes in the coming weeks. They're going to be, they looked at a geological firm that would figure out what the heck is going on with these sinkholes. So they say, hey, if you live close to Benton Park, or if you're a sane individual and you don't live near St. Louis City, come on down, harvest as many fish as you want, and have at it.
If my oldest son, matter of fact, I should call him and tell him about this. He might fly back into St. Louis to do that.
Just to go get some fish down there.
He is a fishing. Here's the interesting thing.
And he's in Pensacola, right?
Yeah, he's in Pensacola. Okay. I got 4 kids, same mom, same dad. Okay, they all 4 couldn't be different. I can't tell you what decade, I can't tell you what century it was when I went fishing. You don't even want to go out on a boat. Your son, you've told the story many times, your son could just hop in a boat and be in the peninsula right away, right? And you say, nope. Oh, no. He can go out in his backyard, get in his boat, and in 20 minutes, he can be in the Gulf of America.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
but you have no interest in fishing.
I have no interest in that whatsoever. I mean, and the same thing for me with Lake of the Ozarks. Boats on a lake, who cares? To me, it's just like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Although for years and years and years, I used to go to the boat show every year at the convention center, but I haven't been for a while. I don't even know if they had it anymore. The COVID thing killed everything.
Oh, yeah. Now, you mean down in downtown St. Louis?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I used to go every year.
Yeah. That's disgusting. I remember that was a big thing for a long time, though. People would risk life and limb and go to the city.
I used to go all those conventions. I went to the home show, the car show.
And you would go there, because you had advertisers down there, right?
Well, I would go to check out various people. I go to the bridal show all the time. The bridal show was good. I mean, in fact, they used to have a bridal show at Busch Stadium. The bridal show at Busch Stadium was really good because I don't know if you know this or not, you can use Busch Stadium as your wedding venue. You can get
So that's probably a good place to pitch.
Right.
Pardon the expression.
Pardon the pun. Okay. Are we done, John?
We are, Brad, and you cannot find this at johnstop3.com because I don't go around frittering money away on useless domains.
John, in the C block, I will make you eat your words. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, I will make you eat your words. And it's funny how this happened because Brad has not kept a good eye on some of his websites and looked at the...
No, are you serious, Brad? A lack of attention to detail.
John, you know what? You know what I need? Have you ever seen the Iron Man movie?
I have not.
Okay, what's his gal that keeps him straightened out? Is like his Girl Friday?
I have no idea. Okay. I've helped a woman out of her clothes before, so I don't watch a lot of comic book movies.
Okay, I'm not going to touch that one. Okay, it's time for break.